Sales tax laws have been drastically changing over the past few years, and today we're going to talk about what you as an online reseller need to know about sales tax, if you have to collect it, if you have to pay it, and how reseller certificates fit into everything. Hey everyone, I'm Mark too, and I'm a CPA who specializes in helping online resellers with taxes and growing their businesses profitably. I'm also an online seller myself, so sales tax is something that affects my own business as well. A sales tax is simply a consumption tax on the sale of goods and sometimes services. It's imposed mainly at the state level and sometimes at the local level. Sales taxes are usually collected by the reseller and passed on to the government. If you sell stuff online, you've either likely had experience with or questions about sales tax, or maybe you've gotten nastygrams in the mail from your local government for not following the sales tax rules. But if you haven't dealt with sales tax, it's just a matter of time before you do. And with the exponential growth of e-commerce, legislators have been pushing to update the sales tax laws. So let me start with the good news. Many of you won't have to deal with collecting or paying sales tax. Now I'm going to dive into how to know whether you need to be worrying about it or not. So first we have to talk about the concept of nexus. Nexus just means a connection or a tie. And historically, in the context of sales tax, it refers to having some type of physical presence. So you're generally liable for sales taxes in a given jurisdiction if you have nexus or a physical presence in a state or county. And a physical presence generally means having an office, a warehouse, an employee, an affiliate, or even inventory in a fulfillment center. And for physical nexus, the general rule of thumb historically was that you should collect sales tax for every sale to a customer in a state where your business had a physical presence. So let's say I live in Nevada, where I operate my business and I have an employee in Texas. I would be on the hook to collect sales tax on any sales made to customers in Nevada or Texas. I generally would not have to worry about sales tax for sales to customers in any other state. Things got a little bit complicated with Amazon FBA, where Amazon has fulfillment warehouses all across the country. And it wasn't long before states like California started saying, hey, Amazon has a fulfillment warehouse here in our state with a bunch of your stuff in it. Therefore, you have physical nexus in California and should be sending us your sales tax for all of your California sales. On top of all that, in 2018, a Supreme Court ruling gave us the concept of economic nexus. So not only did we have to worry about physical presence in relation to sales tax, we also had to start worrying about collecting sales tax in states based on the amount of business done in those states, even without a physical presence. Any state can require an online seller who has sales in that state to collect sales tax. This adds a significant sales tax compliance burden for online businesses. The silver lining is that most states have thresholds based both on the number of transactions and total sales. And if you're below those thresholds, you won't be required to collect sales tax on the related sales. And I'll leave links below where you can see those economic nexus thresholds by state. So that's a complicated landscape for a small online reseller to navigate. Luckily, the majority of states now have enacted what are called marketplace facilitator laws. These laws require marketplace facilitators such as eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Etsy, and others to collect and remit sales tax for us, the sellers. And these laws are a big deal because they shift the sales tax obligation from the seller to the platform, or the marketplace facilitator. And there are only a few states left at this point that do not have marketplace facilitator laws, the biggest one being Florida. And you can check your state status using the links below. So if you live in California, which is a marketplace facilitator state, you no longer have to worry about collecting sales tax for sales you make in California or in any other state where you have a physical or economic presence that also has marketplace facilitator laws. But if you live in California and make sales in a state that does not have marketplace facilitator laws, then you are responsible for collecting sales tax on that sale, if you have either physical nexus or economic nexus in that state. I know that's a mouthful. You might have to back it up a few seconds and rewatch that. The last thing we need to talk about is the difference between a seller's permit and a reseller certificate. And be careful when you're talking about seller's permits, seller's licenses, reseller certificates, and so on. Many resellers use these terms interchangeably, but sometimes they refer to different things, so you got to be careful. A seller's permit, which is the same as a sales tax license or a sales tax ID, is issued by the state and authorizes you to officially collect sales tax. A resale certificate or reseller certificate, on the other hand, allows you to purchase goods intended for resale without having to pay sales tax. Most states allow the reseller certificate to be in any form as long as it contains the essential information like your sales tax ID and your contact information. And you can often find a template that you can use on your Department of Revenue website. In order to obtain a reseller certificate, you need to have a seller's permit or a sales tax ID first. Then you can issue a resale certificate to your suppliers or your wholesalers or your manufacturers in order to buy your inventory sales tax free. Because of marketplace facilitator laws, platforms in most states are taking care of the sales tax for you. But even with that being the case, if you are registered to collect sales tax, the state still wants you to file a sales tax return. What you'll do is list your sales on your sales tax return as non-taxable. So while that's an additional hoop to jump through, you won't show any tax due because it's already being paid for you by the marketplace facilitator. I know that's a lot of ground to cover in just a few minutes, so watch this video again and check out the sales tax links below to see what the specific rules are for your state. Follow me on Instagram at NotYourDadCPA for more tips and behind the scenes, and I'll see you in the next video.